Now in this video, I have three of the most expensive MIDI controllers on the market. We have the SL88 Grand, which clocks in at $1,000. We have the Roland A88 clocking in at $1,200. And we've got the infamous VPC1 by Kawai clocking in at a staggering $2,400. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you which one I would pick if money was not an object. So I'm gonna give you a high level overview of these real quick. So the Roland A88 is gonna give you the best bang for buck as far as control is concerned, because you have the 8 assignable knobs, the 8 assignable pads, and you get all of these things like that. They can be banked, they can control MIDI CC or notes. It's pretty cool when it comes to that. The SL88 Grand is going to give you the better bang for buck when it comes to in and out, because it has a very extensive in and out scheme, and you can do both MIDI, USB MIDI and MIDI in and MIDI out traditional. It also has MIDI through, which the Roland does not have as well. And as far as key feel is concerned, you got to go with the trusty VPC1, but you're going to pay for it because it has the best feel out of all of them. Now, as far as software is concerned, there is no software that comes with either of these boards. So that's another thing that you sacrifice when you start spending more money. Not only do you lose control, but you lose software. Let's talk about the keys. So the Grand and the VPC both come with wood keys on them. These are wooden keys, and then this has a plastic key bed in it. Now, as far as response, they all have different and varying responses. I'll show you without touching any of the volume. I'll play a chord progression on this one. Got that response. Then go over here to the Roland. Then go over here to the VPC. So of course you're getting varying levels of responses from the different types of key beds. The dope thing about all of these is that you can also adjust the velocity curves on them just by tapping into the advanced functions on these key beds. The Roland has the easiest and most straightforward way to change the velocity on the keys. All you have to do is hold down the shift button and the octave, and then you can go up and down on velocity response. I found the sweet spot is kind of in the middle. Now, the next thing I want to talk about in regards to these boards is portability, because that is a key factor you need to consider when making this purchase. The Roland is, again, probably the most portable of the two because it's got a thin, light profile. You can throw it up under your arm and walk into a gig. The SL88 Grand is a little bit heavier. It's much heavier than the studio version, but it's still portable and it's more smaller, as a smaller form factor. But this beast over here, the VPC, you got to have two people to carry this thing in, and you're going to have one heck of a flight case. This one is meant to be traveled very, very intricately because of the internals in it. And it's also, like I said, team lift when you want to do something with it. Now, the next factor you need to consider about these boards is the ability to zone and other little features like that, because more than likely you're buying these as a master keyboard to control your live setup. That's primarily the function of these boards and where they live at, as master keyboards. That's why they have the in and out scheme that they have to be able to plug up both traditional MIDI devices and USB devices as well. Now, the Roland keeps it really, really simple because you have a lower, a upper two, and a split function where you can control your different things like that. But the Studiologic wins this battle because it has a very intricate in and out scheme that you can use in multiple ways. You can create very complex layering and stuff, mixing in both your USB MIDI stuff and your traditional MIDI stuff. Now, I want to come back to price for just a second, because that is probably the most major factor of this thing. Again, you're paying $1,000 for this, $1,200 for this, and $2,400 for the VPC1. Now, if money was not an object for me and I had to pick one of these, hands down, no contest, I would go with the VPC1. Not because of all of the features or because some fancy, smancy, this, that, or the other, but I genuinely enjoy the playability of this board, and it's the closest feel to an actual piano as possible. But like I said, currently this is the most expensive one, clocking in at $2,400 at this time of recording this video. I don't know if that's because of shipping or supply constraints or post-COVID stuff or whatever. I have no idea, but this is currently in the US $2,400. I know some of you folks overseas can get it on Tomin or Thomin or however you say that website. You can get it for much cheaper, but here in the US, we got to pay $2,400 if we want to get this. Now, if your budget is a whole lot lighter, you probably are not even considering all of these. Maybe you're looking for something that's in like the, I don't know, $200 to $300 range. And if that's the case, I have a video right here where I go through all of the 88 key semi-weighted boards from $200 to $300 that might be in your budget. You should definitely check that out, and I'll see you guys over there if that's the case. Other than that, I'm out. Holla at your boy.